So this time we're gonna have another type of challenge. This challenge is gonna be creativity and development. This time we decided to choose random assets in a specific niche. Nico went and he found a niche he really liked, found some assets, and then he sent them to me. We haven't planned anything, how we're going to design it yet. I did the same thing. I found a niche and I sent all the assets to Nico. And we have no idea how we're gonna put them all together, but this is the fun part. We're gonna have 1 hour to do all of that. So if you want to design your website in Figma, and then of course the final version needs to be in Webflow.
I'm looking forward to this challenge.
No, oh, me too. Because the first challenge was only design. Second challenge was only development. This challenge is both. We will need to do one hero section, which we'll need to design and develop on Webflow. We'll have 1 complete hour to do it. So 1 complete hour to design it and develop it. That's pretty much it.
3, 2, 1, go!
So yeah, so those are the assets that Nico gave me. Here we are. Images. And we also have some illustrations. And that's pretty much what we're gonna work with and try to create a beautiful header section with that. Well, a hero section.
All right, so I got these Minecraft assets from Maxime. Well, I'm supposed to now design something with them. So research for fonts, and I didn't know what kind of font. Like, I think Roboto Mono kinda looks nice. Believe that.
That's actually gonna be easier than I thought. Like, the image he gave me is a perfect hero image. So I guess I'm just gonna put a text here and it's gonna be a beautiful contrast. I just have to find the font now. This can be good. No. No. Too fancy. Maybe something like this could work. Okay, so I think I found the perfect font. Sans. It's actually from one of my old projects, but it looks good. I think it looks perfect for something ecological and something also fancy. Because those toothbrushes, I think they should represent something fancy. And especially there's a plant. Oh yeah, it looks very, very artisanal. I think that's a word. Artisanal.
Okay, so we are here inside Webflow, and first off, what we want to develop actually is kinda something like that. And I've designed that right now. And now I want to show you how I go over the hero section right now. So what I have is, I have a section, I name it to section. Then I set the tag from div to section. I put inside another div, and this div is a tag of div, and this div has the class of container. So the max width is 1440 pixels and the width is 100%. And because that's only the hero section, I make it to 100 VUH. Heading, Galaxy Craft, paragraph, which is sitting right under it. For the button, I think I just use a button that I've already did one time, and that's this cool button that has a pretty nice effect. And thank you to the dude, I think, who published this button. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so still struggling to find the secondary font, because this font, the main font, unfortunately it has only one type. It doesn't have any bold, any thin. So again, trying to find the secondary font that would fit the style, but the thing is I don't have much time. Already 20 minutes passed by. So that's where it gets stressful. Okay, so for all the assets that Nico gave me, I chose to use like only one image. Because first of all, it's a hero section, so I don't really have place for more images.
What most people would do now is they would go ahead and say, okay, that's the section element, and now I've got a background image, and then I set the background image to this image, okay? So that's what most people would do in this situation. But let me tell you, that's the wrong way. So you generally avoid using background images. Why do you avoid them? Because you can't lazy load them. That's causing then performance issues, bugs, and so forth. So what do you do instead of using a background image? Well, you just, for example, you just delete the background image because nobody likes background images. Just remind that. And what you do now is you get into your section and paste in another div block. And this div block has the name and it's called CEMG, like C image. And then you can say double underscore for the BEM method and then say hero. And now what you have to do is set the section to relative. I want to set the position to absolute and then full width. Okay? And now I can place inside of here the image. So that's the correct way of dealing with background images in general.
In terms of the illustrations, I mean, seriously, the style with which I went really doesn't fit the aesthetic. The fact that I used one image should do the job. Okay, so I think I'm ready to transition into Webflow. We start creating the nav bar. Let's do this. Oh, Webflow crashed. That was like, what? First time ever that happens. Okay, so I have to put a title now. The title is going to be complicated because it's an unusual way of structuring things. I'm thinking just to put a big div here, or maybe even a grid. We'll see how that goes.
Also nicht wirklich, ich mache gerade mit Maxim eine Challenge, aber genau, wir machen es diesmal einen Ticken intelligenter.
Okay, 16 minutes to go, and now I have to add the button and the promotion, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and the navigation links.
I mean, the design maybe not the best, but at least we're getting some accessibility inside of it real quick.
Oh, it's finished. So 1 hour. I'm actually proud. This is actually a pretty good result, honestly. I mean, to do it in Figma, then transitioning into Webflow, and also finding the font, finding the colors, also has kind of a brand identity behind it. And also the messaging is good. I mean, I'm pretty proud. That's pretty actually good. Wow. Okay, so let's see what Nico did. Let's jump on a call with Nico.
Okay, Maxim, so 1 hour finished. Probably from a external perspective, person would recognize instantly who was the professional designer in this challenge, but may not see the code behind the project.
That tells me that you used some code.
Yeah, I did.
Some custom code. Okay. I actually didn't see that coming. Let's first of all, let's start in Figma. In Figma, that's how it was supposed to look. So out of all of the documents you've sent me, I decided to use this toothbrush image. Of course, I cut it, and I decided to use, this short version of it. The reason why is because the other ones didn't have contrast in the back so that I can put like the text in big. This one, it had like a huge white space where I could put the text. So I decided to choose this one. It was actually like easy choice. Honestly, I didn't know what to do with the illustrations. I'm like, you know what? Like seriously, I'm not going to use that. It felt like more of a childish website. And I thought like I should communicate a luxurious solution for, environment, because, the toothbrush you sent me was like in wood and it was pretty cool. So I thought like this was irrelevant. So I right away went like with something like artisanal. And then of course, I went with a very, very prestigious font, which is like, it's a custom font that I used for an old project. And I'm like, oh my God, this is actually perfect for this one. So I tried to go with the minimalistic way, and that's how it turned out. I honestly think this is a very nice design. Like I actually would like to make a design, like a website like this.
Yeah, so my first thought, like, oh my God, I like how the design turned out. How were you thinking about the mobile version? You probably want to show me that also, right?
Yeah. So exactly. So I managed to finish the tablet and the mobile. The thing is, the only issue I had is that, as you can see here, it was always supposed to be like this. No matter the size of the screen, it was always supposed to be artisanal to the left and the environment to the right. And the toothbrush, like the middle text, was supposed to be always on the side of every single kind of like wall. It wasn't supposed to be like this. So this space is wrong. So the environment was all supposed to be under the not harmful 4.
Mm-hmm. What was the problem with that?
The problem with that is that I forgot to put a div to limit the stretch of the environment. So the environment just like went out of the box, and voila, that happened. I mean, it looks still good, but it's not what was supposed to happen. Then if you transition to tablet, again, the issue on tablet was the fact that, again, the contrast here with the toothbrush, but that's easily fixable if I would like make the image a little bit darker. However, the only issue here is that I would actually, if I would have more time, I would find another image than this one. Because this image, like in mobile, like, whoa, that's I think a Nintendo size, but we don't care. If I would be in mobile, I would of course choose another image that would showcase the toothbrush, because now you can only see the leaf and you can't really say it's a toothbrush site. That's the only thing I would change in tablet. That's a very big issue, because talk about toothbrush, but like, where's the toothbrush? You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is a thing I would still spend more time to change the image in mobile. So I like the way you figured out, and of course I had time to put like easy interactions.
I like how your Webflow project turned out. One thing that I'm wondering would be interesting to me, have you used a background image for that?
I use a div block with a background.
Mm-hmm.
Is it wrong or is it good? Again, the naming structure is not, I didn't name a lot of stuff, but the structure is as you can see, there is like the normal navbar with the container. That's pretty basic. Here, I decided to use a grid because I told you I love grids at the moment and they work pretty nicely. Here, however, there would be a problem. This was like an easy fix, but however, it's a bad practice. Like, I mean, you cannot have 3H1. It doesn't help SEO. So that's a bad practice. Because I didn't have much time, that's what I did. But however, a better practice would be to use 1H1, but however, like to kind of edit like a text span like this inside the H1. I think that's what I would try.
When I show my screen, you can immediately see like who's the designer and
who's the developer.
No, I don't want to say like that because that's like offending. But you see how who took more time to develop and who took more time to design. Yeah, probably 60-70%. And you
okay. I actually took 35 minutes to design and 25 minutes to develop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm showing you my screen.
Okay.
Well, that's not the whole website. I actually struggle a lot because I was thinking. Well, I have to move now into Webflow and take and design or develop it from there. That was probably a mistake I've made. I should have tried more out inside of XD right here. Well, like that's the design, and now we're switching into Webflow. That's what I got. This is my design, and that's basically like a Minecraft server, and I've got a hover animation.
Oh, that's actually nice.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a pretty like a hack, I would say.
Just a question. Is it okay that the play now is not centered in the button?
Ooh. I think like for that on a like design perspective, that's probably wrong. But I think because of the fact that it's the background is sliding in from the left, I thought it would be better to place it more. But
because I think but as you said, like as a design, it would be of course better to maybe occupy it if you would have like an arrow at the right. But I mean, I think from design perspective, it would be better either it's in the middle or you occupy that space. Okay, that's a button. Okay, I see. The way I do it is when I have like certain animations in the button, I use a div block as the button. This way I can add some inside, animations. It's a good trick for a button to actually customize the button.
Let me now show you the tablet. So on tablet, I deleted this image, or I just it, and I used this diamond pickaxe that you sent me. And it's kind of then just going in from that one. Not very special. But now let me show you the actual code.
This is the time where my mind gets... Imagine if you managed in 1 hour to program the link with the server of Minecraft that connects you with the game.
The game is on Webflow.
Yes, I've made Minecraft in Webflow in 1 hour, bro. Max, I don't know what you were designing. We can collaborate. We can collaborate on the game on Webflow. Oh my god. Okay. I
maybe try that one out. That's pretty interesting. True.
Okay. So the code behind.
So first thing is that I don't know if you also have this, if you're also starting with this, but Webflow is setting that's the first code. Webflow is setting the link color automatically to blue. Do you know that if you have like the link and you put it to inherits, then basically it's getting this
ugly blue underlined thing. Yeah.
And the way to solve this without always setting a button like a fixed button color or a fixed link color is I've got this HTML that right here, and it's pretty simple. It's just this thing right here. So
what's that?
What you do is you have an A, like that stands for link, and then you go inside and say color, just like in Webflow, color inherit. And that's pretty interesting. That's for accessibility. So maybe a little value to you. If, for example, a link.
Okay.
This is like the link, the back to homepage link. But the problem with links and no text inside is that a screen reader, for example, for a blind person, if he goes onto your website and he uses a Google screen reader, so the screen reader says to him what's happening in this link. But the problem with the always with the back to homepage logo here is that there's no text inside. And what you do for that, to prevent that, you put another, you first wrap this thing, and then you put another class inside, and that's the SR only class. And what it's actually not that specific. That's basically just a link block with a text inside. Okay, and now what's the myth behind this SR only class? It's a way of hiding an element in a way that it's still readable for the screen reader, but hidden in the HTML and the CSS. You could not say display none, because otherwise, if you do that, it won't be readable for the screen reader.
Okay.
Set this class. I actually didn't write that because that would be I didn't write that right here in the challenge because that would be that's inefficient. I've got that. I've got this exact class in my notes, so I can just copy the class.
Okay, I see.
yeah, and that's all the code magic behind this development.
Damn, so it's very interesting because you're dedicated in developing for the visually impaired, and it's pretty cool because I mean, you know, I guess it's an audience, you know, left out, and you're kind of feeling you're helping to create a design, a website that they can actually use, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems we're facing, because the disabled community is actually not the minority. It's actually almost half of the web disabled person. That does not have to be, for example, he's blind. It could be he broke his arm and he can't use his mouse, so he has to navigate with the tab, for example. Like that's also a disability for a certain time. Yeah, you can imagine that there are so many people around there using the web as disabled. Yeah, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, so there is so much more like to developing a website. It's like user experience like to the next level. Like seriously, it's not something a lot of people, a lot of developers even think about, let alone even designers. Because, you know, like designers, we love the visual aspect, but how do you communicate the visual aspect to a blind person? Like that's a complicated thing, you know? That's impressive. Like seriously, good job on that, on focusing on those things.
Well, and maybe one thing you can see that I took a lot of time in the naming.
Oh yeah. Like I wasn't waiting to see this. Like it was crazy because like you went so much into development and I went so much into design, and you can just see the huge difference. We have such different styles, and not just styles, but just different priorities. Like my priority was really to showcase like the branding, the identity, like try to create a meaning to create literally a brand. And in the 1 hour we had, and create their whole website.
And you did an amazing job, by the way, dude. That was crazy.
Thanks a lot. And in you just went into the usability of things, how to improve user experience, and how to make it, for example, optimize the website for speed, optimize it for simplicity, like those things, which are very technical.